Hello, hello. Oh, you are muted. You are muted, Megan.
Okay, now I can talk. Can you hear me?
Yay.
We can
well,
hear
that's
you.
good because you're
Yay.
presenting.
Okay, it
So,
was just-
you know, we kind of need that.
Yeah,
All right.
one would hope.
Lisa, you are co-host.
Yes, sir.
Megan,
All right.
you are co-host.
Megan's about to be co-host. Oh, you got it. Beautiful.
Awesome.
Beautiful. So everybody should have their
And it's
requirements.
recording.
What's that?
Just making sure it was recording.
Awesome. I will be up, but I'm going to mute my microphone and video. My boy was just behind my green screen going, Dad, are you done yet? Because he's watching the other child. So I'm afraid I may have a mess to clean up. So
I
if
sent
you
mine
guys
away,
got
so-
this one. If you guys
We got it.
I'll go take
Yeah.
care of that problem.
You're amazing, Matt.
Okay.
Thank you.
Good luck for that. With that.
All right, Megan, I'm bringing up your links. So I have them.
Yeah, they're a little weird, so it's okay.
That's okay. What would you prefer that I drop in the chat? Do you want me to drop all of the links in there for people? Do you want me to just stick
if you just drop the link that's on there, I've been adding to. Let me turn off my phone.
the document?
I've been adding the links that I'm gonna show. So
Perfect.
does that make sense?
It absolutely does.
I say that a lot, so just just be like, yeah.
Hey, I'm here to help you. So whatever you'd like to do, just, point and click and say, go do that for me.
Oh no, you're fine. I was just gonna share my screen and zoom along about, and
I love it.
that's
That's perfect. So we still have a couple of minutes. So
yeah.
people will start trickling in. There's one now. All right. I conjured Katie Lanier.
How'd you do that?
I was saying that we had a couple minutes and people are going to start to trickle in, and boom, Katie Lanier's in the waiting room.
Magic.
Who knew I had this kind of power?
Magic.
Now I'm afraid of you.
You should be. Oh, Andrea, I love your emoji or Bitmoji.
I just wish I had curly hair like that.
Yeah, my hair will not take a curl. You start on this
Yeah.
side, and by the time you get over here, this side's down again.
Mine's like, even when I was getting ready to go to the prom and everything, and you go and you pay to have your hair done, they were like, come with your hair dirty. And I have baby fine hair.
Oh, yeah.
So I would come with it a little bit dirty and it wouldn't hold a curl or anything. And then they're
Yep.
like, they would be washing my hair and putting as much product as possible to get it to like stay up. And I'm like, just forget it.
Yep. And my hair's thick and still wouldn't take a curl. So it's
see,
just,
mine's thin now, but when I was younger, it was a lot thicker, but it was baby fine and thick.
yeah.
So it was like, just, it wouldn't do anything. So
My hair is either like this or what it was yesterday, like down when I want it to be down, but otherwise, my students marvel. They're like, your hair's down? It's like, yeah,
I
give me
know.
about 45 minutes. It won't last long.
mine are the same. And the other thing is like, I'm farsighted, so I can't, actually, since I entered my 40s, I can't see screens. Okay.
Oh,
I can see paper just fine, but I can't see screens. And in this time that we've been in for the last year and a half, screens are very important to our lives. And unfortunately, not being able to see screens, I wear my glasses all the time. Like when I come into school, I'm not wearing my glasses, and when I leave, I'm not. But I'm wearing, like, anytime I'm on a computer or anything, I'm on my in my glasses, and they're like, I didn't recognize you without your glasses. It's like,
Yep.
I didn't have to wear them until like 2 years ago. It's okay.
Yep. I've gone full hipster with my glasses. In fact, the beginning of the
Yeah.
year, I started off with these wonderful big plastic red ones with white dots because I've discovered Zenny. And now I spend a lot of money getting all different kinds of glasses. And
That's the
so,
one. Is that the one with the magnets?
no, it doesn't have the
Okay.
magnets. They're just the front, like these are Zenny. But you just need your prescription, and then you go through all these glasses, and these cost me $35. Their prescription, like, so I was like, why
Yeah,
am I
'cause I
spending
mean-
$450 at my eye doctor? That's insane.
It's a lot of money.
Yep.
So
I spent a lot of money on these little doodads too. The blue screen covers for my computers.
yeah, all the glasses and all the readers I have the blue. And I was noticing the other day, like a pair of sunglasses that have a purple
Oh,
that I can see screens on it. It's amazing. But we're going to honor your time, and it's 5 o'clock right now. So I'm going to wait about 2 or 3 minutes to get started, let people kind of trickle in for a minute.
yeah.
If you want to, I'm calling them the show notes. I listen to a lot of podcasts. So
Here they
that's,
come.
that's where my life is that everything's show notes.
Yes.
So I videoed this. I know my video has a lot of ums and uhs and likes and all kinds of crazy stuff in it. I, like my students, waited until the very, very last minute to video it, and videoed it at midnight when I got back from vacation. So that's the little treat for you, is you get to see me. Well, you don't see me because I did it without the screen, but yes, I was very much like my high school students that I have in summer school right now. So not even the ones I have during the regular year, like the ones in summer school right now. I was very much acting like them because I was like, oh, this will be easy. I'll just put this in here and this in here and this in here. And then it just got over. Like, there's a lot of stuff I put in here, and it's because
We have lots of stuff going on all the time. So you
lots
get
of
all the stuff.
Yeah, it's all the stuff.
And we love all the stuff. We love the resources. You get to see the
The
pinned
grass is
tabs
always
I've got.
greener. The video is great. I know. Well, you're always going to look at yourself and scrutinize, like, see all that stuff that, like, you didn't do. Like, I see on the description that the Wild West should be capitalized because I'm an English teacher and I push enter before I proofread things. So there's all kinds of things that I see about stuff I do. And I was telling this, I'm doing summer school right now, and I was telling the students today, I was like, you got to remember that people are thinking about themselves so much more than they are thinking about what you're doing. So if you're getting up in front of the class, they probably are thinking about, they're more scared of them getting in front of the class than they are thinking about, your shoes untied or something like that. So that's, the reality of presenting to anyone. But anyway, I'm going to wait till 5:05 and then I will get started. So just know I had a time in mind. I'm looking at a time. And I'm Megan Wells. Hi. You probably don't know me. It's okay. I'm a nice person, I hope. I'm seeing that there's some activity. There is a link to the show notes. It's okay. It was, the video, somebody mentioned, Melissa is mentioning that the video was long. When you open the video, it says it's 53 minutes long. It is not 53 minutes long, but it is like 25 minutes. So when I took the music file, like I said, it was late at night and I had just gotten back from vacation. So apparently I forgot to cut the music file at the end of my video. I thought I had cut everything. And so when I went to upload it, it uploaded like 53 minutes of just this weird Wild West music. So, that is for you. That is your treat. You got this weird, I have no license to it. Somebody's probably going to sue me. It's all good. Please don't be a lawyer. That's all I got to say. Matthew's probably on here like, what? Like, you didn't have a license for this? Shame on you. Anyway. 2-hour videos of music. Well, that's what I borrowed it from. is one of those like where somebody had put on YouTube like Wild West music. And I think I looked for public domain. I mean, I really did try to like follow copyright standards. I am a teacher. License. They could take that away, I guess. Royalty free music. So I actually think it was a YouTube, but it was a royalty free YouTube because I do think I did that. I'm pretty sure I was cognizant of it because I didn't want it to get out there somebody to go, hey, this is mine and me. Well, you're a teacher, so you know. The $3 you have in your bank account, here you go. All right. So it is 5:05. I am going to get on here. I did put a Jamboard in the show notes so that you guys, I used to use Padlet all the time, but if you've used Padlet the last few years, you know that Padlet has become a charged resource or a pay resource where you can only use so many Padlets a year. And I think I've used my 8. Oh, that was not the button I needed to push. So I'm going to share sound even though I don't really need to. Okay, so this is my presentation. What's funny is I made it on PowerPoint for no good reason, and then I moved it over to Google Slides. So I'm going to click present here. And so I titled this quick draw engagement. On the video, you have the intro to The Quick and the Dead, which, you know, you get to see Leonardo DiCaprio as a young buck at the age of like 20. So that's always enjoyable. I was going to name it The Quick and Engaged, but realized that's one of the edgy protocol strategies. And that probably would be copyright infringement as well. So I only used 30 seconds of the video. I followed my fair use. I'm Meghan Wells. Just a little bit about me. This will be my 15th year teaching ELA in North Texas. I have taught every grade from 7th through 12th. I'm teaching 10th and 12th grade this next year. I am the esports coach. What that means is my son was doing esports and I decided to join in, but I attend meetings and coach kids on video games and try to get them to play. And the video game crowd is a little more reluctant than the football crowd. So it's a little bit more of a challenge to get everybody coordinated on time. They all want to play the video games though, so that's good. I'm on Twitter at Schmagini. Some of you may know me from that. I have a teacher Instagram. It's Teacher Meg Wells. If you want to follow me there, I put sometimes tips and tricks. I have a website. It's okay. It's on the show notes. You can look at it. It's more of what I did for grad school though. So just for you guys as reference, I know you know this, we all know this, but students have been away from us. Some students, we were in a hybrid setting all year. So we had hybrid, we had kids in the classroom, we had kids online, but there are some students that have not been with us for 18 months. They haven't been in a building for 18 months. So that's a big deal. And even though, you know, 15 months when we're having this now, but some of you won't start until September and you'll have kids that haven't been with you for 18 months. So it's a pretty long time to be away from a building and someone to hold you accountable. So I don't know about you, but we lost a lot of engagement with the hybrid setting. A lot of it too is execution. Some things were not in place in the beginning and some things came in place as we went along. So that kind of made things a little more difficult. But whether we have kids online or in person, we need to get their attention. So this is a big deal because students who are engaged, we know, have more motivation to participate in class. They enjoy learning. They feel compelled to learn. These are all things that, you know, whether you've been a teacher for 6 months or 60 years, you know that if they're engaged, they're more likely to do what we ask them to do. So I kind of broke my methods up into 5 different ways. This isn't on a list anywhere. This is kind of just where my crazy brain went at the time, but the things that I look for when I'm looking to kind of increase engagement. My first thing is reduce downtime. I want to have things ready and simultaneously as quickly as possible. I have 12th graders. I cannot imagine people with second graders, because if I don't go from one thing immediately to the next thing, then this thing comes out. Okay. And whether you have a strict policy or an easygoing policy, I really get tired of this thing coming out. So that's why I try to reduce downtime and I try to make everything as quick as possible. I like to make things a competition. I know there's been some controversy. I talk about it on the video. I might talk about it today, but I like to make things a competition because a lot of times what people are doing on this thing is they're playing video games. I like to, if I don't have something that's immediately online or immediately engaging, I like to include the students. I like to include their names. I like to meet them where they are, that kind of thing. I like to show them something new, because one thing I remember about being in elementary school, and yes, I indicated I'm 42. I was in elementary school in the 80s. So we had a computer for the first time. We didn't have a computer at home. We had a computer at school. So that in my classroom, if the teacher pulled out the computer, we were all like, ooh, like the aliens in Toy Story, like the claw, you know? So it's getting harder and harder for us to pull out things in our classrooms that students don't already have at home. So just showing them something new or a new way of doing things, or say, hey, I'm testing out this. That's kind of a way to get students interested. And most of all, just to have as much fun, because, you know, it gets kind of boring. So the first thing I do is timers. So on your show notes, there is a link. It's not an extensive link. You can add to it, I think. I don't know if you can. I can add to it. But it's a link to some timers off of YouTube. The beauty of timers on YouTube is that you can go here on Google Slides. You can also do it on PowerPoint, because like I said, I made this originally on PowerPoint, but you can go over to video, look up a 5-minute timer. And this one, the first one that comes up, I really love it because it sets off an alarm. And if you have a co-teacher or a substitute teacher next to you, they freak out. And I don't know anything that entertains a bunch of 10th graders more than freaking out a substitute teacher. So these are some of my favorites, but you can insert it right into your screen. I didn't do that. I probably should have. But if I click on the timer, click select, it puts the timer right in my screen. So when I'm presenting over here on Google Slides, it also makes it, you probably already know this, but it makes it so that you can set it so when you're in present mode, like I am right now, that you can just click it. The other thing is like classroom screens. So I'm going to exit this right here. I'm going to have to go back. Classroom screen is set up like this. I didn't have to sign in or do anything. If you need my presentation, it's right here. If you want to go to the Jamboard and make a comment about something that you know of that you think we all should be using, go right here. Just tell me, you know, kind of give your name and what your experience is, and let us know something that you have thought of. The cool thing about Classroom Screen is you have a clock that you can put on the screen. You have a stopwatch. You have a traffic light. So you can say stop, go, things like that. You also have a sound level. So I don't know, most of us, if you're around my age, I mean, I was probably the first group of kids that they put the stoplight in the cafeteria for noise. This is my stoplight for noise. So max noise is 5. I'm still too loud for it. So there you go. I use the QR code generator that was right here on the screen. I just put the the URL into the generator and it was there. So I'm going to go back to where I was. Okay, so easy to use startup apps. If you've used Socrative before, here's a link to Socrative, but Socrative actually has a short answer question, and you can put in the short answer question without putting in a question. And in English language arts, we've done a lot of paragraphs. Students will copy and paste their paragraph, and then you click go and the students can vote on their paragraphs on Socrative. That's something I had never used, and I've used Socrative for probably about 10 years. A lot of people, Quizlet, Kahoot, Lookit, everything that's in one place. I really love, I mean, when I got an LMS, when I first got Moodle or Edmodo, I used Edmodo back in 2008. So I was a little surprised that we were using it, but it's pretty awesome. Nearpod is a great resource. There's a Nearpod session going on right now, but Nearpod, you can put everything in there. They do include like the sticky notes. They include a place to draw out your thinking. So, and if you prove that you've done more than 5 activities, you can become a Nearpod certified educator and get the Nearpod Gold at least for 6 months. So you can have unlimited space and things like that. Pear Deck, there's all kinds of games with flashcards that go with Pear Deck. When I was introduced to Pear Deck, I was introduced to it on an iPad so that you guys could read the same thing your students were reading and they could annotate their thinking. And I already showed you some QR codes, but don't rule out QR codes. I know for a while there, we were like, everything was QR codes. And then QR codes kind of went away, and then COVID came, and now restaurants are using QR codes. But right before COVID, I had 6 classes of 12th graders, and they would not bring their resources some of the time. I know, it's a shame. Students didn't bring what they were supposed to bring to class. And I don't have extra Chromebooks to give them extra Chromebooks. So I would just put the QR code on the board. They would, scan the QR code with their phone, and they're ready to go. So all these methods include some sort of password or some sort of quick intro. And my students don't have to go into their Clever account. They can use their Google login in a lot of cases. Classroom Screen, I didn't even have to sign in. So that's one quick and easy way. Classroom Screen, if you do create an account, you can save your screens, which was one of the drawbacks to using it originally. But it has those built-in timers, it has dice, it has all kinds of things. My second way is make it a competition. So like 3, 2, 1, go, 3, 2, 1 strategies. So I like to use quiz programs. And like I said, if you have any suggestions or anything that you want to add, definitely. It says you couldn't access the hidden pictures. We'll get on there and make sure that you can access that. Okay. I'll get on there in a second because I think I can get to it from here. Kahoot, quizzes, Gimkit, Lookit. I used to love Kahoot, but I got into a situation where I was in a big district with a huge campuses, and they were sending out like a quiz Kahoot bomb, like the Zoom bombs. So I would say Kahoot, some people started saying, well, use it sparingly, because if you're in a testing time, like the end of the 6 weeks or the end of the 9-week period, everybody's using a Kahoot. So you go from classroom to classroom, and a kid could come into school, and if they're changing classes in middle school or high school, they're going to 6 to 8 classes where they're playing a Kahoot in every class. But it seems like there's a lot more resources available now. You can, Quizzes has a great system. You can look at data. All of them have where you can look at data these days. Gimkit, I love Gimkit. My students love Gimkit. I wish Gimkit would let me have more than 3 students in a class for the free account. If you work for Gimkit, let them know. I want a bigger account. for free, because the only thing is I have to weigh the amount of time I'm going to use GimKit. I'm an English teacher. I'm going to use it like twice a year. I'm not going to use it more than once or twice a year. So yes, spending the money is kind of sad. Yeah, they get sick of Kahoot, Time to Climb, and Nearpod. Socrative used to have like a space race, and since you don't have to use your oftentimes the district will assign a password. And in our case, like we use Clever, a lot of things use Clever to sign in. So they have to go into their Chromebook or whatever, they have to get into whatever Clever or, Big Sis or whatever they're using. And then they have to go from there. And that's extra time. That's time people are doing what they're not supposed to. So genially, I was in the session yesterday. I'm sorry to say the keynote that was in the afternoon. Anyway, they used several things with Genially. And Genially is pretty awesome. It is just, click and insert. Yeah, I have Jumanji on here on the show notes. I was looking for my notes to answer. I just put Jumanji on here so you guys could see it. So during the spring, a lot of my students, especially my 12th graders, they have a skip day before spring break. So I made it so that they had, so it has this is made with Genially. Now, one would argue you can make similar things with Google Slides. And I have Slides Mania linked on here because she made a game board on Google Slides. So you can do these things without using Genially. One of the things I've noticed, because you can make the game piece moves. One of the things I don't love about this game board is that I make the game piece move, you get on the same link, you can't make my game piece move. Like on my screen, it's not going to be the same. So if you're using a Google Slides, that's why I like hers a little bit better, because I can share the link in the nature of Google. I can be looking at it here, you can be looking at it at home. And then if I'm moving my game piece, you're seeing on your screen my game piece move, and you're able to go over here and pick up your game piece. It's a little more interactive that way. So I do know some people that I'm kind of involved in the XP Lab or Explore Like a Pirate community. And if you just search that hashtag on Twitter, a lot of those people, they're always sharing their stuff. Like they are amazing at they're always amazing at sharing their stuff. And so a lot of them have made websites where they do hidden pictures. They do the game board where they've made it themselves because they have a game theme. And many of them share on a daily basis. So it's amazing. But yeah, this is what I made. I started to make an escape room with Genially. There's tons of different things that you can do in Genially. And a lot of them are free. Like it says, go to my panel. I think that's me. So it'll let me, if it takes too long, it takes too long. So this is what I've kind of done, or what I haven't made a whole lot on here. But if I wanted to create, I can just create a simple presentation. If it has the star next to it, it's not free, but there are free options. And as a teacher, if I'm only going to use it a couple of times, that free thing is pretty important to me. So Flippity is pretty cool. You can take Google spreadsheets and turn them into a variety of different games and competitions. You can make a word search. You can make a crossword puzzle. I know a lot of people that used to use education software a long time ago to just be able to make a crossword puzzle. And it gives you the way to do that. Now, Slides Mania, I talked about Slides Mania. Now, it's just slides. It's just templates for slides. They're fantastic in a lot of ways. She's in the financial industry in Spain, and she was on Matt Miller's Ditch Summit over the holiday break in December. He's going to do Ditch Summit again this year because he reached out when I said something about it on Twitter. He's going to do it again this year. And when he does it again, he opens up all the sessions so you can see all the years past sessions. But Paula from Slides Mania, her children apparently where she just noticed she likes to make slides. She was doing it just as a thing. And she started to make slides so that her kids' teachers could have different things to use in the classroom. So she didn't even make them for her own classroom. She was making them so that her kids' teachers could use them. So like she has a couple different game boards. This is one of them, but she also has an escape room, lots of notebooks. Yeah, Andrea, I totally, I felt like it was a master's class in learning how to do slides when I watched that particular thing. The hidden pictures, let's see what it pulls up. Oh, it pulls up my egg hunt. Okay, well, I'll get you to the link. Okay, here's the link. So I'm going to change the link for hidden pictures on the document. So if you're just going on the document on your screen, this is ThingLink. Now, I didn't use ThingLink much because having a picture map is important sometimes and it's not important other times. So instructions, so 6 eggs are hidden in the picture, copy each sentence and then put them in the order you think. So if you went to the form and you were able to see the form, you probably weren't able to see the form because it was probably only shared with my campus. But if you went to, don't you love Zoom? Teaching with Zoom. That's been an experience. If you look, I hid the things in the bushes. So this is a paragraph hidden in the bushes. And the students needed to find the paragraph. And because I downloaded something on my screen here, I can't even see the whole picture. But if I look closely, every now and then they'll kind of shine in the light. But I told them, I was like, there's several on here and they're in the dark spots. So you really have to there's one that's shining right here. This particular one is like, they're all in the back. But so it's got, I took a student that wrote a paragraph and we were getting ready for testing. And so they found the different sentences in the screen, like an Easter egg hunt. And this way my students at home and my students online could search for something. And it took them quite a while to do it. Then they had to put the sentences in order, like they would go in a paragraph. And my distractors, if I got it wrong and push submit, it was all Britney Spears songs, which I thought was really funny. Yeah, no, it doesn't say it. Never mind. This is a required question. Yeah, I guess I got to put answers for all of them. One of them was Christina Aguilera and one of them was Britney Spears. And they acted like I had 4 heads. So the youth of today, what am I saying? Anyway, so yeah, my jokes are sad. It's okay. So don't be hurt, try again. And somebody was like, why would I be hurt? And then they were like, and then think of it as a reflection. These are all Christina Aguilera songs. And on the other one, because one of them was a paragraph and one of them was a Lady Marmalade, Can't Hold Us Down, Genie is Still in the Bottle. So all the distractors were that, and they thought I was super lame for it. But I thought I was pretty funny. Anyway, so meet the students where they are. So I put an example on here, and you're probably going to be like, why did she put this as an example? Because back in the day when I would give a final exam review, I would put my students' names in the final exam review. So that's what this link is. If you're like, why? It's because, so the birthday gift from his parents surprised Mateo. It's a pretty boring sentence, but man, I have a weird spelled name. I mean, I have an H in the middle of my name. So if I saw Meghan with an H, I'd be like, it's Meghan. Is she talking about me? And so as they read, they were like, okay, yeah, she's not talking about Mateo. But then I threw in Jason. And they're like, wait, Jason does like to make people laugh. And I had 7th graders, so they thought it was pretty awesome. Rainey loves to read, and Rainey enjoys exercising. So it's not something that's offensive to them. But, you know, every now and then there'd be a sentence about like a football player doing ballet. So I would throw the biggest, baddest football player I had in class, and I'd throw, you know, like if it was Jason, if it was Javon, if it was, you know, Tyrone, I would throw their name in there and they'd be like, wait a minute, Tyrone's a football player. Is he doing ballet? And then especially if they weren't in the same class, they would get really excited about it. So I thought, you know, that's a good way to engage students. And so it's something I continually did. And it must work a little bit because No Red Ink uses this strategy to do their sentences. If you start a student on No Red Ink, in No Red Ink, they use this strategy of they ask you your name, they ask you your friends' names, they put a bunch of shows that they think, and they love No Red Ink, right? So it's, you know, No Red Ink's another one where, you know, I wish that I used it enough to justify the cost of it. We had the paid version for a while on my campus, and then we went back to the regular because we don't have time to use it all the time. So, but that is the strategy that they use. Social media like TikTok. So in the one that you guys had on the video, there's a copy of just a cheesy haiku that somebody wrote, but they were all like, oh, I don't want to be on screen. You know, you were seeing their ceiling fans when they were on Zoom. So, you know, in order to get that across, record it on TikTok and upload it on TikTok. You don't have to put it on TikTok. You can record it on TikTok, use their editing software. You can do this on Snapchat, you can do this on Instagram, you can do this on Facebook, videos. Where you record the video, it saves it to your phone, but it's in their formatting so you can go in and do the editing, add the pictures, add the sound, it's not even their voice, it's a robot voice. So they were really enjoying that. Somebody else I know did where they were getting on TikTok and they were like, give me 7 facts about the American Revolution. And they were doing the pointing thing, like 1, 2, 3. And, you know, they were recording it in the TikTok app and then they were uploading it to their computer. And I have seen a ton of people like, they whisper they love grammar practice. I'm sorry, I'm distracted. I'm not one of those people. But you know, there are a ton of people. I know Matt Miller, who I mentioned earlier, on his Ditch That Textbook site, he produces a blog. He has a bunch of templates that you can use for like a fake Instagram or a fake Snapchat or things like that. So that might be something that you're using instead, especially if you have younger students, so that they can feel like they're older, so they can feel like they have those accounts that maybe mom isn't ready for them to have yet. Activities like books, yeah, book snaps with Tara Martin. She released this. This is probably like a 4-year-old, 5-year-old idea, but she was noticing her son was using Snapchat. So she thought, hey, wouldn't it be a good idea if I took a picture of the book and put emojis around what I thought of this sentence or that sentence, or, you know, and do annotation like a Snapchat picture. And so she'd put her Bitmoji on there. And there's a lot of people, there's even people in my district that changed it to EduSnaps and curated several different like digital stickers that they could put on books and things like that. And then this is the project that they did. And this person wrote their haiku in TikTok. It didn't play the video though. I'm sorry. All right, and then give a new take on an old favorite. So pixel reveal activities. So if you get on, I made you a gift. I made you a pixel reveal activity. Just because I had one that was Baby Yoda, and it was that whole copyright thing, you know. I wanted to keep it. So I made a pixel reveal activity. It's on the show notes. If you want to know how to do, if you've never done a pixel reveal activity and you want to know how to do it, if you click the instructions, and I think they're on AH, but if you click the directions, it kind of gives you an overview of what I did to make the pixel review. Thank you. And so if I put 2 in here, Steve Rogers is Captain America. I was watching Loki last night when I was doing this. Living in their house for several years. What is the symbol for oxygen? Is O. What is I think it's missing something. It might be missing something though, because it looks like it's not getting, oh, I know what happened. Okay, capital of Brazil is not Rio de Janeiro, like many would think. Who is this? That is Jeff Bezos. I know it's super small. Sally has 6 apples. The answer to this one is 3. What color is purple? It really took me longer to write the questions than it did to, because I tried to encompass a whole bunch of stuff. So that you didn't feel like I was just talking about English language arts the whole time. So it reveals a horse because I chose a Western theme, so I thought I should do a horse. I did change the pixel here, but with pixel art reveals, yes, conditional formatting is your friend. It's all conditional formatting. What I like to do, because if I make one picture, this takes a few minutes, takes about an hour of my time. I'll put the answers. The answers are in the BO column right here. Okay. And I have high school students, so if they figure out that that's what I do, they're going to click around. So I haven't gotten to the point where I have to scatter them, but I will. I'm sure I will. So that pixel reveal activities are really fun. They're all the rage on Teachers Pay Teachers. I'm not charging you for this because I didn't necessarily create this image, but I did edit it. So, you know, it is my personal in that way. But you can just, if you change the questions here, the other part is data validation. If you go up to data and data validation, you can make these multiple choice so that they don't have to type in the answers. It's self-checking. You can change this to numbers, make the numbers invisible, and then print it out and make it a color by number, which is something we also paid for on Teachers Pay Teachers that I now know how to make. So it's all good. Thank you, Matthew. I'm sorry. I talk too much. Sorry. online seek and finds, that's just that thing link that I shared with you before. And just even adding a theme to your old slides. I'm guilty of every slide being. Was it you to Andrea that said you used to have? Oh, Andrea. Okay. All right. So the last thing is I like to have this. I have high school students. We had show and tell at summer school today. I like to have fun. I like to get them having fun. I get a lot of shade because English is something you have to take for 4 years. And Miss, we all speak English. Why do we need to take your class for 4 years? So anytime we do Shakespeare, I like to make it immersive because that seems to be where everybody moans and groans. Anytime we're doing writing, I like to make like Shark Week. We have writing week and there's writing activities all week. And I have a 10-year-old son, so I have every Avengers accessory that one could ever want. So we bring Thor's hammer. I know it has a name. I just don't know it. Captain America's shield, witches' hats, things like that. When we read Macbeth, the witches were supposed to wear the hat, so and there were girls that didn't want to read, but all of a sudden they get to wear a witch's hat and they're all about it. When we read Beowulf, we have swords. I probably have swords sitting around the room I'm in now. So this was a toga party for Julius Caesar. So that is why they're wearing togas. Of course, they're wearing masks. Because 2021. And so they were, I made it like a big enrichment day. We had all these activities. We had, a magnetic poetry. I had one online and one in the classroom. I had music playing, like kind of Greek epic music. And so digital escape rooms as well. Yeah, I've been on this whole digital escape room. I'm going to make one. And I get half of it done and I don't finish it. I do the wall of fame. So the kids are ultimately, they want to be on the wall of fame. And I said in the video, I was like, they don't think I'm a crazy stalker, but because I printed out from their social media stuff that the school puts out. So, or if they send it to me, because I'm like, you can give me your pictures. I don't have to find your pictures. You can give them to me. But if I find them, I'll put them up here. So we actually filled up the wall. This was taken 2 weeks before school was out. But with all the senior activities, I left this much for prom, and that's what ended up on there. And this is Ashley. I know Ashley looks thrilled here. I know I'm saying her real name out there. Sorry, Ashley. Ashley, we had a contest for Myths, Beasts, and Legends. And I was like, I'm going to make an awesome trophy. And I was really super excited. Ashley does not look as excited about this trophy as I looked. But I thought the trophy made from things in my garage was super awesome. So you can contact me on any of the things. I'm totally accessible and totally able to answer questions. And I really want to see if you guys, I don't see anybody that put anything in the Jamboard, but I'd really love to see what you guys had to say. What it looks like Andrea has quite the collection of pixel reveal things. And so I would really like to see what it's view only. Is it did I do that? Anyone on the internet can view. Well, that's a bummer. I'm gonna get it so that they can edit. How about that? How about that? Now it works. So anyway, I feel like I'm teaching my class during this whole year. It's like I'll see something on the chat and talk about it. So I'm sorry I'm so scatterbrained. It has been a long day, but I am glad to be able to present with you. And I hope that you got something. I hope that, you know, we gave you something that you are like, well, hey, I kind of wondered about that, or I gave you an idea of something to go check out. So, and I hope that now that you're able to edit this, that some of you are able to give us all some ideas that we can go back and go, hey, this is pretty awesome. I'm going to spend a minute looking through and seeing. I know we don't have much time left. Andrea, I do love a good Google Sheet. I use Google Sheets for everything. I did when we were doing like the book snaps kind of stuff. I used Jamboard for the book snaps, and I know they don't want you to really, I mean, Jamboard isn't really for like a slideshow, but what I have found is the highlighter. The first thing is I can set it in the background and they can't, I mean, yeah, I can do that on Sheets, but if I set something in the background, I have to do individual master slides. And with Jamboard, I can just do separate backgrounds for every single slide or different Jamboard. And the other thing is when you use the pen in Jamboard, it's real, it's not the pen, it's the marker, I think. And the highlighter. They're not real super dark. And so with students annotating, it made it a lot easier for them to kind of share their ideas or put Post-it notes on there. Whereas slides, they'd have to find those specific images. So I know it's not its intended purpose, but it is kind of what I used it for this last year with doing everything online. Up timer playlist and the hidden pictures link. Okay, so I did it on the timer playlist is not all that extensive.
Yeah, that's just something you can do later on if you'd like. I just wanted to remind you if you wanted to scratch it down.
Yeah, I was gonna say the timers playlist is not all that extensive.
Those were just the two links that came up in the chat that weren't quite working.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's where it is. And I'll test it on my other site and just see what I need to do to make it work.
I mean, questions have been coming up, I've been answering them as we've gone, but if anybody has any questions in the last couple of minutes before
you can't
the end of the session, can't save the chat, Matt?
The chat will save when I close the Zoom.
Okay.
And so what we are going to be trying to do is in Edmodo, we're going to be putting the recording of this video along with all the other recordings into a format that we can share out with all of the participants and attendees. So let's be honest, it's not going to happen tomorrow, but the beginning of next week, you should be getting some emails, whether you're a presenter, moderator, or attendee. That is going to include a small form that allows you to share some things you would suggest for us in exchange for your participation form. And it'll also include a curated list of videos, chats, yada, yada, yada. So those things are all. If you want something specific, like a link out of the chat, I'd recommend doing a copy and paste it over. I think you can do that still.
Yeah, and all of the links that have been shared are in the show notes document as well. I'll give you that one more time.
Yes, that would be helpful.
And that is posted on Edmodo, so you do there. And so if you click on that link, it'll bring it up. You can bookmark it, and it's there. Yeah, I think it is a Zoom setting, Andrea. I think you're correct. All right. Well, we have one more block of sessions coming up. So we have block L still here and ready to go. So here's the link to that for you. We have 2 more presenters sessions. We've got One Note to Rule Them All with Roberto Modano. And then we have session L2, integrating the SOFLA format, so the synchronous online flipped learning model, into language classes. And so those are available. And then there's an open Q&A if anybody needs any questions answered regarding teaching the humanities and the arts, or if you wanted to just pop in for any random question about flipped learning in general, that link is there for you as well. So anything that you need, just click that Edmodo link that went into the chat. And
don't
Have a
forget the
wonderful evening. Bye,
Q&A at 7 p.m., our closing
Yes.
session. There won't be any parades like the Olympics, but again, you don't want to see us on parade either way. So we want to thank Meghan Wells for
Yes,
joining
Meghan.
us and presenting with us. It sounds like lots and lots of ideas, and we really appreciate that. We appreciate Lisa for moderating, and of course, we appreciate all of you for attending. We'll see you in the next session.
Hold the session just a little bit, Matt, because we have someone copying the chat as we go.
Gotcha.
Thank you, Megan.
Thank you so much, Megan. A lot of amazing
Guys,
ideas.
Lots of fun things. I'm like, oh,
Those ditch that textbook pseudo social media things, those templates are incredible.
Oh yeah.
So useful. I love them.
Oh yeah. I mean, there's a few people that do them, but he's got
Mhm.
collection, and you know, he just freely gives it out. So it's like, you know, take advantage of what's free, right?
Right.
Exactly. Well, and
Awesome.
share back something, which is what you just did. So I mean, that's why.
Yeah, I was gonna
folks do
say,
that.
but I always feel like I go to these things and they're like, it's like, oh yeah, I know that. Yeah, I've used that before. And I was like, I don't want to bore you guys.
Oh, no, that's not the case at all.
Yeah, I don't want to bore anyone with a
And I hope I didn't give you that impression. I was kind of saying like, yes, she's right. This is amazing. Do this.
Oh no. I didn't. I didn't at all.
Well, thank you very much.
Thanks, Megan.
You're welcome.
All right. Bye, Mel. Oh,
Lisa,
There you
I
go.
went ahead and suggested Debbie email me, and I can email her the chat directly once.
oh,
we
good
end.
call. Since you're going to have that. Yeah,
Yeah, since I'm doing, because I can't until I stop the recording.
right.
So I'm going to stop recording now.